morning, boys and girls, and Friday is here. Do you have that Friday feeling? I think you do. It's the 22nd of January 2021. Let's get started. So let's take another final look at your spellings, and then hopefully at some point today, maybe you could get someone to give you a little test on your spellings, and then send me through a picture of the results. I would love to see them. So your words are, and you can repeat them after me, go, I go, goes, going, gone, glad, give, green, big, bigger, biggest, and wiggle. And as you know, we've already talked through all of our sounds in focus, but if you have any questions about it at all, or there's anything you're not sure of, just send me a little message. Moving on to our literacy then today, and we're doing our final page on plurals. And I'm sure you know by now that plurals means more than one. And over the last few days, we learned that with some words, you put an S on the end to make a plural. With some words, you put an ES on the end. And today we're looking at other words that end in Y. And a lot of words that end in Y, when you want to make them plural, you have to take the Y away and then add IES. So you need to remember to take the Y off first, then put in the IES. So, penny there, for example, question 1. To become pennies, you would have to get rid of that Y, so you could cross it out, and then add IES. So how then would we spell pennies? So there it is. You would take the Y off, add the IES, and you would get pennies. I want you to do the same to these other words to make them into plural. So fly would become flies, sky would become skies, and so on. So let's read through them just to make sure we know the words. So of course we had penny at the top, fly, sky, ferry, that's like a type of boat on the water, body, try, story, and berry. Part B then asks you to choose 3 of the plurals you have made. So choose 3 of your new words, whichever 3 you want, and use them in a sentence of your own. So you'll see you have lines here for each sentence. So for example, you might choose the word berries and say, I picked lovely red berries when I was out on my walk. Or you might choose stories, for example. I like listening to stories in school. So you choose 3 of the new words, the new plurals that you have made, and put them in the sentences. And moving on to our maths then, and we're continuing to look at money today. We will also be looking at money over the course of the next 2 weeks as well. So keep those coins handy as well if you have them. Today we're looking at change. So when you pay for something and then you get money back. So for example, you'll see this whistle, it costs 25p. If you went into a shop to buy that whistle and you had a £1 coin in your hand, when you hand the £1 coin over, the person behind the till, behind the checkout, is going to give you some money back because it didn't quite cost £1. So we're trying to work out how much change we would get back from various items. Now, there are a couple of different ways that you can work out change. One involves taking away and one involves counting on. And really, you have to try and figure out what works best for you. So I'll explain both ways to you now. So I've just drawn on the paper here, I've written the amount that you gave the shopkeeper at the start, £1 whole, which is 100 pennies. And the item you were paying for cost 25p. So what you could do, if you wanted to take away the 25p and see what you have left, is you could take it away from 100. Now, some of us may be able to mentally take 25 away from 100 very easily, and some of us might find it a bit trickier. So you could break it into 20 and 5. So you could take 20 away from 100p first. So that would leave you with 80p. And then take the 5p away. That would leave you at 75. So your change should be 75p. So what you're doing is you're saying, I give that to the shopkeeper. When he takes this away from me to pay for my whistle, how much should he give me back? 75p. Now let's try it using a counting on method. So by counting on, you could say, I had to pay 25p. And I gave 100 pennies, which is £1. So I'm going to count back up to 100 to see how much I need to get back. So we put 25 in our heads, keep it in your head, and we're going to count on in tens. 25, 35, 45, 55, 65, 75, 85, 95, and then we have that extra 5 to bring us up to 100. So how many tens did we count on there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 70. 70 and 5, 75. Now, in that particular question, taking away may have been easier, but sometimes counting on may be more helpful to you. Let's look at another question. So let's look at this ball, that costs 63 pence. And again, you hand the shopkeeper a whole £1. So he needs to give you some money back. The money he gives you back is called change, which is written right there. That should have a G on it. I think the photocopier stopped working there. Change. So let's write in how much the ball cost. What was it? Oh yes, 63 pence. So we'll put 63 here. Now, we paid £1, we paid 100 pennies. So how much should we get back? Let's take 60 first of all away from 100. What does that leave us with? You can pause the video if you want to and count back 10 sixes. So that's 90, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40. So I'm at 40p and I still have to take this 3 pence away, which leaves me with 37 pence. Or we could use the counting on method. So I paid 63, or I should have paid 63, but I paid 100. So let's count on from 63 up to 100 to see how much extra I should get back. So putting 63 in our head, keep it in your head, and let's count in tens. 73, 83, 93, and then you need 7 more to get you to 100. So I'll write that in there. So how many tens is that? That makes 30. So we've got 30 and 7, 37. Both methods help you arrive at the same answer, but they're just done in different ways. And if there's one method that confuses you, then stick with the other one, as long as you find a method that works for you. Question 2 then is asking you to calculate change from £2. So if you pay 200 pennies for something, how much money do you get back? So there you'll see question 2a. A plane has been bought and it costs £1.32, which is 132 pennies. And you paid 2 whole pounds, which is 200 pennies. So you're trying to work out the change from that. So you get rid of the first pound, that's totally spent. And then the other pound, you owed 32p. So how much do you get back from the other pound? Now, boys and girls, I know this is very difficult and it's tricky to do when we're not in school together. But we just try our best. And what you can do is, after question 1 and 2, you can stop there if you wish. Because this is a lot to do and it's a lot to take in. And I don't mind if you spend all your time just on these first 6 questions and stop after that. I will be perfectly happy with that because it is very, very tricky area of maths and of counting. However, if you do want to do the whole page, I'm going to continue on explaining it as well, okay? So we're on to question 3 now, and it says, how much does each child have left? So the first little boy says, I have £2. I spent £1.40. So he spent 1 whole pound and then 40 more pence. So how much had he left of that second pound that he had? And then the little girl says, I have £4 and I spent £2.50. So how much does she have left? How much change would she get if she spent £2.50? This little boy had £1 and he spent 49p. So he almost spent 50p, but not quite. That's a little clue for you. How much money did he have left? Question 4 asks, how much does each of these children have left? And this time it shows you the coins. So you'll see there, question A, it says Greg had £1, a 5p and a 5p. So that's £1.10 altogether, isn't it? And he spent 90p. So how much did he have left? Just a little bit. Question B then says Ray had £3. You'll see the £2 coin there and the £1 coin. The £1 coin actually has changed even since this book was made. So if you could get somebody at home to show you a £1 coin now, it's a little bit different from this one. He spent £2.80 of his £3. So how much did he have left? Question 5 then says, Susie bought a toy. She paid with a £2 coin. And this was her change. So this is the money she got back. So we count up all of that money and then you can work out from that, from what she gets back, what part of the £2 did she spend? So if she got £1 back in change, she would have paid £1 for the toy because she had £2 to start with. But what she got back was, let's look, £1, 20, 30, 5, £1.35. So that's what she got back. So how much did she actually spend on the toy? It was less than £1, wasn't it? So boys and girls, try your best with this page. I do understand that it is tough, it's tricky. It takes a lot of practice. But as I said, you can stop here if you want to, after question 2. Okay? And try your best. If you have any difficulties, send me a little message and I'll do my best to help you. Okay? Talk to you soon. Oh yes, and before I go, just the usual reminders that if you have any time, you can pop on to SumDog or onto Accelerated Reading as well. But most importantly of all, have a lovely weekend, spend time with your family, and if there's somebody in particular at home who is sitting with you every day or helping to guide you through your work, I want you to turn to that person and give them a great big hug. Talk to you soon, boys and girls. See you Monday. Bye-bye.